What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics here, today to talk a little sports card grading. Always a hot button issue that gets people fired up. This has been on my list of videos to do for a while. I am going to give one thing, if I could change one thing about each grading company, what would it be? And I will be very curious for your answers down below in the comments as well. So we're going to try to quickly run through PSA, SGC, BGS, CSG, and HGA. You could choose one thing. You have the magic wand for a day, and you could change one thing about each company. Backlog is a meh answer. Because, you know, that's like low-hanging fruit in my opinion. But you could change one thing about each grading company, and it would go into effect magically the next day. So I'll run through mine, and once again, curious for your thoughts and opinions on yours. So list the company, and list the one thing that you would change about them. So, like, comment, subscribe. All the YouTube stuff down below. Hit 10K over the weekend. Did the G.I. Joe box break. Once again, thanks for all the support, kind words, messages, DMs, comments, all that. And I want to give a quick shout out to the people, which I know there's a lot of you, that just never comment on a video or anything, or never reach out, that just fire up the video, watch it, and move on throughout your day. Shout out to the silent group of people out there that just, you know, they just come, they watch, they maybe click a like button, they move on. Perfectly fine. Just wanted to give you guys a shout out as well, and girls, for the silence. I don't know if you're the minority, majority. Actually, probably the majority, because the number of comments to views is, you know, usually skewed. You know, less people comment than actually watch, obviously, by a decent portion. So shout out to the silent majority out there. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel in your own way. Perfectly fine. So, with that being said, let's dive in. Who can we make mad today? We'll start with PSA first. The one thing that I would like to see out of them is, I'm going to go with a look behind the scenes. So we're going to go with, I guess, how would I boil this down? Let's say transparency. I would like a look behind the curtain. I would like to see the process. You don't have to show me the details. But I would like to see, like, hey, here's a little video of, you know, how things move through the system, how we ensure that there's not shadiness going on. Because the biggest knock against PSA that you hear, by far the largest, is usually something scandalous / tinfoil hatty / sometimes legitimate. Conspiracy theory, but maybe not, but we don't really know. So to me, the easiest way to address that is a look behind the curtain. So transparency would be my biggest thing with PSA. Let me see. You don't got to give away the secrets. I don't need to see the recipe, but I'd like to see you cook, if that makes sense. I don't need to know, you know, how much sugar you're putting in, but I at least like to take a tour of the kitchen. Just kind of see what's going on there, the process, the workflow, how it's all done, how the magic happens. So transparency would be my big one for them. I would like them to be a little bit more transparent. Once again, we could dog all these companies, except for maybe SGC, on backlogs and all that thing. So I'm not going to hit them with that. They've obviously made strides for that. They're grading like a bajillion cards a year right now. So that's kind of low-hanging fruit. So I decided to go with, I'd like to see some transparency out of PSA. SGC. This one was also pretty easy for me. I've talked about this a million times. Plenty of people have. The slab itself. I would really like a redesigned slab. You could keep the tucks, that's fine, but can you please make your slab at least the same size as Beckett's? Does it have to be bigger than Beckett? Does it have to fit weird in all my cases? To me, I don't care what anyone else says. The slab feels cheap. I don't like the black plastic insert thing. I have 100% had it damage cards before with the way the corners sit. Maybe they fixed this. I haven't graded with them in about a year. But the way the cards would rub against the edge, you could see where it was digging into the side of the card a little bit. So I'm not a big fan of their plastic insert, and I am not a fan of the label at all. I don't mind the black. Once again, the problem with the black is on some cards, it looks absolutely amazing. On some cards, it does not. I get that it's your shtick, so I'm fine with the black. But overall, I would love a redesigned slab. You know, give me a crystal clear CSG slab with a, you know, black insert or whatever and a slightly redesigned label, and I think you got something going for yourself. So we're going to go with slab / label for SGC. That would be the one thing that I would change with them. They're knocking it out of the park with grading. I guess a 1B would be marketing, but I feel like the slab change would be kind of fall into marketing as well. I think it would really help them out a lot and potentially gain a little bit of steam. I don't think they're ever going to catch PSA. I think that's a false hope, but I think it could help out the resale value getting a freshened up slab. Beckett. Oh, Beckett. I feel like there's a lot of different ones I could have picked for Beckett. I'm going to go with, to me, what was the fairly obvious one. Communication. Because you guys have none. I always say they are the hottest of messes. Because they are so drastically behind. I don't know a ton of people that use them. So I don't understand how you can't get caught up. Like, the number of submissions that are going to them currently and that were going to them for a while was so much smaller than PSA. And yet they're still a year behind, a year plus behind on a lot of submissions. You know, I cruise the blowout forums and there's order trackers in there and there's people on 45 days from last June and July and just getting into August. So they're a full year behind. And yeah, PSA is on some stuff on bulk, but I don't even know if they're a full year behind on bulk. But they just don't tell us anything. So my one for Beckett is communication. Like, tell us something. You guys have done one update this entire time, and it was kind of snarky, honestly. It was a nightmare update, in my opinion. It just came across as inauthentic and out of touch, in my opinion. And you guys are a hot freaking mess. You've lost second spot to SGC. I don't even think that's debatable anymore. I still prefer a BGS slab, and I do think BGS has more liquidity in regards to moving it on the secondary market. But an SGC 10 outsells a BGS 9.5, and that was not always the case. That has changed. I think that's more indicative of BGS, unfortunately, than anything SGC's done. But Beckett would 100% be communication. Can we get a complete through date tracker like PSA has? Can we get any updates at all about what you're doing to tackle this backlog other than a snarky update? Like, what the hell are you guys doing? Yeah, I make this joke all the time. When's the last time you've seen a bunch of content creators do BGS reveals or BGS submission previews? Never. I don't understand. I do not understand how you still have a massive backlog of cards when you're not getting the volume that these other places are. How are you still this far behind? Tell us something, anything. Just give us something. Give us a meaningful communication, a meaningful update of, hey, this is where we are. This is where we sit. This is where we think it's going. We've been closed down now for a few months. Their last excuse was we closed down so we could focus on the national. Bull crap. Trying to keep this family friendly. BS, you closed down because you're focusing on the national. You closed down because you're a hot freaking mess and you can't get caught up. But give us some communication. Let us know what in the hell is going on over there. Because I still like BGS for thicker cards, for RPAs and stuff. I still prefer a BGS. I still really like their slab. It's thick. You can murder somebody with it, and it protects the card. So I communicate with me, talk to me, Becca. I just want to talk. I just want to sit down and talk. Need like a couples therapy session. Sit down and talk to me. Tell me where your headspace is. CSG. This one's easy to label. Easiest one on the list. I own a CSG card. I have a Baker RPA and a CSG slab. I've said it a million times. The CSG slab from the neck down is the best slab on the market. It's not even close. Not even close. It's crystal clear. It feels great in hand. It looks great. It feels super secure. I couldn't even imagine trying to crack it open. It's absolutely fantastic. Your label, terrible. One of the worst labels I've seen. As pictured here on their website, without subgrades, it looks even worse. Look to that. All that dead space is an absolute joke. And if you're grading any meaningful card with them and not getting subgrades, I think it's a massive mistake. But even with the subgrades, I don't know what you were thinking with the green. You could not have gone with a more neutral color. Why green? Of all things, why the green? Can we at least, if you can't change the label itself, like the size because of a bunch of other shenanigans, can we at least get the green off there? Just make it gray. Make it black. Anything. Make it a neutral color. Think of it that you just bought a brand new house, or you bought a house and you're looking to sell it. What's the first thing they tell you to do? Use neutral colors in the rooms because it won't offend people. And you guys come out with lime green as your color on your label. At minimum, change the label color from green. Give it a gray reflective thingamajigger on your label. Fine, that would make it a little bit better. The label is too big. It should be shrunk down a little bit. I don't know why you have to have, the running joke is it's Peyton Manning's forehead up there for the label, especially with no subgrades on it. But fix the label. Slight side tangent with them. I know I said backlog's low-hanging fruit, so the label is going to be the primary. The fact that they have a backlog as big as they do already is not great. I will just kind of throw that in as a 1B on them. There is, being that new of a company and immediately having a massive backlog is a huge problem. We saw what happened with SGC with that. So I think that they need to do something to address that as soon as possible. If it's throttle submissions or whatever, that's fine. But it is not a great look to have that massive of a backlog already. And resale prices on CSG is really low. I don't want to necessarily go with secondary market prices on any of these, but my primary for them is the label. 100%. Once again, the easiest thing on this list to chew on or to choose from. And they have, obviously they have to know it. Like everyone says it. So it can't be a news flash to them. So hopefully it's on a whiteboard somewhere in a conference room. And they're trying to brainstorm away with it. Last but not least, HGA. Or as I like to call it, GMA with a better label. No surprise here. I'm not a big HGA guy. I talk about it all the time. I think that they are or were basically a pop-up grading company that had no history and nothing really behind them other than a mystical AI. And people kind of crown them as the second coming as card grading because they had an interesting gimmick. Their interesting gimmick was the label, which smart marketing, and two, I think throttling submissions early on was, in addition to keeping your business in check so you don't fall behind, also a fantastic marketing tactic. So my one for HGA would be almost the same as PSAs. I need a look behind the curtain. You got, and even more so for them because they're the new kid on the block. I need to see how you grade a card. I need to, with PSA, I said I don't necessarily need to see the recipe. I just want to watch you cook in the kitchen. I need to see the recipe with HGA. They were supposed to do a demo at the Knoxville card show, I believe, but that show got canceled. I don't know why. I didn't look into it, but that show got canceled, so I assume that demo is off. But I need a professional look, not whatever your marketing team did with that video you guys did earlier. I need a professional deep dive behind the scenes look at what you guys are doing before I will take you seriously. I need to see the AI. I need to see how it works, and it can't just be OWL or a fancy scanner, because that's what people crown them as, is having the mystical AI. We don't know anything about it other than it's an AI. So I number one thing for them, transparency. They have to show their work. This is the ultimate show your work, because there are a lot of people super skeptical about them. The secondary market shows it. A lot of major auction houses won't even list their stuff. I know, Burbank did that video recently. They were talking about some of the smaller companies, but I think they included them on the list, that they basically value their cards at raw no matter what. I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know that I attach any grading bump on them for value. Like if someone was trying to trade one to me, I would almost value it at raw. Maybe that's just me, but the other problem too is that to me, they don't have the, I'm going to call it institutional backing, which you can't create this. It is what it is. But because they don't have the institutional backing of a long-standing company, it's even more important for them to show the work. Whether they want to or not, they need to figure out a way to show people exactly their process and build up a little bit of respectability. PSA has been around for a million years. Love them, hate them, whatever. They've been around forever. SGC, love them, hate them. They've been around forever. BGS, love them, hate them. They've been around forever. CSG is the new kid on the block, but I give them a little extra juice because they're attached to CGC, which is the most credible / viable comic book grading company. So I at least lend a little credence to that. And also the fact that they got, the two head guys from BGS to lead up the company. So I at least know the names, and I know that CSG is tied in with CGC, which has a long-standing history as a legitimate grading company. HGA literally appeared in a strip plaza, and they have a mystical AI. All of a sudden, send us your cards to grade them. I need to see more. You got to prove it to me. I need to see the recipe. I need to see the secret sauce being made. So those are mine. One thing on each company that I would like to see / see changed. Transparency for PSA, SGC slab, Beckett communication, CSG label, HGA, we'll go with transparency as well. A little bit of a different angle on the HGA versus the PSA, but the shtick is the same. So those are mine. Very curious for yours in the comments down below. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys and girls in the next one. Peace.